What is happening, wonderful people? So last night I got a chance to go see Markiplier's new film, or first film, Iron Lung. And in this film, survivors of the apocalypse send a convict in a small submarine to explore a desolate moon that's an ocean of blood. And that's all I can say without giving too much away. Let's talk about it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
So Iron Lung, when it comes to Iron Lung, it's kind of funny. I actually forgot that Markiplier was making a movie until maybe about a couple weeks ago or a couple of days ago or a couple maybe months ago, something around that, somewhere around that time. And you know, when I remembered that he was making a movie, I was like, oh, Markiplier's making a movie. I totally forgot about that. I knew about it, but then forgot and then remembered. And I was like, Iron Lung, that's the movie he was making. And when it comes to Markiplier, I grew up watching Markiplier's videos. I grew up watching his channel. I grew up watching his gameplays. I remember I grew up watching him play Five Nights at Freddy's, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, 3, 4, whatever you want to call it, all the Five Nights at Freddy's games. And I remember watching him play Alien Isolation. And I grew up with Markiplier. So I kind of had some memories there of watching his gameplays, watching his videos, and kind of some nostalgia there. So I wasn't really looking forward to the movie like as a whole because I just didn't really know much about it. I, for one, thought that Iron Lung was an IP that he created, but I found out a couple of days ago that Iron Lung is actually a video game that released a couple of years ago, and I didn't know it was a video game. Like I said, I thought it was an IP that Markiplier created, but of course it's not. It's a video game, you know. And we're in the day and age, you know, as well, where YouTubers are making movies, and whether it's the Raka, you know, the Philippi brothers who did Talk to Me. I absolutely loved Talk to Me. Bring Her Back is their film as well. I liked it more than I thought I would, but I don't need to watch that one again. And Chris Stuckman, I grew up watching Chris Stuckman's videos as well, and I think he's a fantastic reviewer, and I think he's a good director, but I wasn't big on Shelby Oaks. There's some good things about it, but overall I just wasn't overly fond of it in certain ways. And with Markiplier, I was excited to see him direct, and after having seen Iron Lung, he knocked it out of the freaking park. So if you're new to my channel, or if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I like to talk about my positives first, then my negatives next. But even when I need to be negative, I will be positive, and even when I need to be positive, I will be negative as well. And overall, it's not perfect. Iron Lung is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, by any means, but I walked out absolutely loving it. Like, I really enjoyed it. And I know I haven't seen very many movies of 2025 so far because January just ended. It is February now, but it is my second favorite movie of the year so far. Like, I really enjoyed it. And I think for Markiplier, as someone who grew up watching his videos, you know, I kind of have some nostalgia there. I was really looking forward to seeing how he handled directing a movie. And it's really cool because he directed this, he wrote it, and maybe he produced it, but he self-financed it as well. Like, this is not a Hollywood film. This is a movie he did by himself with obviously his friends and other people as well, but Hollywood did not have any part in this movie, and I kind of like that. I think that's a really cool thing that he kind of, you know, self-financed it, and it's kind of like his own little niche thing, you know what I mean? And I really think, like, as someone who grew up with, you know, Markiplier and his videos, I really think he absolutely crushed it, and I had a good time with it. I really had a good time with it, and that's coming from a fan as well. I'm not trying to be biased, you know what I mean? I really don't want to be biased because I am a fan of him. I am, you know, like I keep saying, I grew up with his videos, but I don't want to be biased. I never try to be biased, you know, and it's by no means perfect, but for his directorial debut, I think he absolutely crushed it. He knocked it out of the park. And, you know, I love the overall atmosphere in here, and I love the overall aesthetic in here, just the color grading, the cinematography. I think, you know, there's a lot of red in here, you know, the blood, because he's going through an ocean of blood. And the concept of this game and movie is so intriguing, and it actually makes me want to play the game and learn more about the game. I kind of now want to learn more about the game and go watch gameplays of the game. You know what I mean? It's really interesting, and I love the red in here. It's just so eye-popping. It's visually amazing, and it just keeps your eyes locked on the screen. And I think the editing is super fun and unique in here. It's really cool because he's in this tiny submarine and he's sitting on a chair, and he has like these buttons that he presses to give him coordinates where to go, right? And he has like this little circle thing where there's like this arrow to tell him where to go. And the way he zooms in on that with the camera, and the way he just zooms in on his hand with this like lever so he can move around, really cool how he moved the camera and just all the camera angles. Really, really cool how he did that. He did a good job with that. And you know, I really think his directing style is fantastic. It's a very smooth looking film, and you can actually make out what's going on, and it's really visually amazing, and it's a good film to look at. It's a good looking film, and I love how he moved the camera. And as someone who is not familiar with the game, as someone who didn't know this was a game until like a couple of days ago, like I said earlier, I thought I was under the impression that this was a Markiplier IP, but then I come to find out that it's a video game from a few years back, and I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. He's making a movie based off a video game that he's played and he likes, and I thought that was really cool. It's kind of like a meta aspect to it. Kind of has like a meta aspect to it, which I thought was really cool. And you know, as someone who's not familiar with the game, I found myself wanting to learn more about this world that we're introduced to, and it's very, very mysterious because you don't really know what's outside of the submarine. You don't really know, and you want to understand. It's like, because I'm a big Maze Runner fan, right? I'm a huge Maze Runner fan, and it's really cool because when it comes to the Maze Runner, they're in the maze, and you want to learn more about the lore, and you want to learn more about what's outside the maze and what happened and why all of these people are in the maze. And it's just kind of like that in a way, and I really found that interesting and just mysterious. And you know, the stakes really do feel high at times as well, because you can imagine being in that situation that he's in with this small scale close quarters submarine, and he knows what's outside, but also at the same time he doesn't. You're like, man, am I gonna survive? Am I gonna die? I don't want to die. I want to get back to my life, you know. And he has oxygen as well, and there's only like 4 like boxes of oxygen or whatever on parts of the ship, or on one part of the ship. And as the movie keeps on going, you see it slowly start to go down. So he's losing oxygen, and his mind is he's starting to go crazy. He's starting to lose his mind, and it's just really, really crazy. And you can imagine being in that situation. And you know, with Markiplier acting in this film, with this being his first performance ever, he knocked it out of the park acting wise. Like, I was like, I wonder how he's gonna be as an actor, and he really knocked it out of the park. Like, his performance was really good. Like, he actually showed some emotion, he showed some anger, and you just feel for him, and you feel bad for him for being in this situation. And I really thought the dialogue was surprisingly sharp. There's not as much dialogue as you would think, but at the same time, there is some dialogue because he's talking kind of to himself at times, but he's also talking to a certain lady at one point when she opens like this hatch to actually talk to him, and then someone on like a radio, a few people on the radio and all that. And the twists and turns work. The twists and turns that we get in here really, really do work, and they keep you like, they make you go, oh, that's insane. And you know, going back to Alien Isolation, I grew up watching him play Alien Isolation, and I don't know if he did this on purpose, but I definitely got Alien vibes in here. Like, I really did. Like, there are definitely some Alien vibes in here. Definitely some references. Well, I don't know about references. References isn't the right word to use, but definitely just Alien vibes. Alien vibes, I just thought was cool, and I don't know if he did that on purpose, but I really thought that was cool. And it has a good pace as well, especially with how small scale the movie is. It's a very small scale movie. It is, and it's a very close quarters pressure cooker type film. It looks and feels very video gamey as well, which I absolutely loved, and it's like a video game come to life. And the ending might work for some people, it might not. The ending is crazy, and it actually had me locked in. I think the ending is my favorite part of the movie because it's absolutely bonkers. They take bold swings to it. You don't expect it, but because they take risks in the end, they actually pay off, and it actually works in my opinion. And you know, I thought the tone was consistent, is tonally consistent as well, and it's actually really suspenseful and thrilling at times too, and you feel the fear that he goes through in the movie. And it's just the sound design is great, the score is really great, and it definitely makes me want to check out and play the game. It definitely makes me want to learn more about the lore and definitely check out gameplays of it as well. But while I did enjoy it overall, I do have a few nitpicks. It's not perfect, it's not a perfect film by by any means, but I still really had fun with it. I walked out really enjoying it. And I will say, while Markiplier, he does give a really great performance in here. His character's name is Simon. You really feel for his character, and his performance is really good in here. You don't really understand much about his character. He's very one note. He is very one dimensional. There's not much for him really to do, you know what I mean? And you really do want to learn more about him, but we just don't have much time to learn much about him. And there's not much depth to him, and there's not much really like personality in a way, sort of. And that kind of stuck out to me, and in a way it kind of stuck out to me. And it does overstay its welcome a little bit towards the end. I was never bored. Like, I wasn't really bored. I was bored a little bit though. Maybe at times I was bored. I could feel myself starting to get bored, but then it threw me right back into the movie. And you know, the story does feel messy at times. It doesn't really flow the best, but I was intrigued with what was going on, you know, and it does take a bit to get going. It does take a while to get going. It's kind of slow burn. It's a slow burn film, and I do wish that there was more lore building. As someone who has never played the game, I really wanted to understand why this event took place and what caused the rapture in this movie, what caused the ocean to become blood, and why the stars died out and stuff. It's a really intriguing concept. It's a really interesting concept. And like I said, I was never really bored, but like I said, I was intrigued throughout. But I could definitely feel that it was slowing down at times. So yeah, overall, with Iron Lung, as a fan of Markiplier, as someone who grew up watching him play Five Nights at Freddy's and Alien Isolation, I kind of forgot that he was making a movie, but when I found out, I was like, oh, definitely have to go check that out. So with Iron Lung, I will give this movie a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And with Iron Lung, I will say, dedicate your time if you're a Markiplier fan, if you've been excited about this movie, if you grew up with his gameplays and if you've been excited to see him as a director, definitely go check out this movie. I think you'll enjoy it. So that'll wrap up this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, share in this video. We just hit 1K subs a while back. We're now 1.2K. And the next big milestone is 2K and 3K after that. Beyond that as well. If you're new as well, I did movie reviews, TV show reviews, trailer reactions, movie live streams, movie news, movie rankings, all that wonderful movie stuff under the movie umbrella. And let's talk about it in the comments down below. Did you like Iron Lung? Did you not like it? Are you going to go watch it in theaters, or are you going to wait to watch it on streaming? Let's talk about it down below. Keep talking movies, wonderful people. Cheers.